to weigh in on the effort to use female pronouns. Creator and producer of the documentary Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh, what do you think of this strategy? Again, it's very subtle, but again, it's going to the issue of gender. And you've heard that, say, Secretary Madeleine Albright making that remark once that she is having trouble living down, that there's a special place in hell for women who do not vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I think that this appeal that somehow there is almost an obligation on the part of women to vote for Hillary, and also on the part of men, because this is a historic first. Well, first of all, we tried the historic first with Obama. That hasn't worked out that well for the country. It hasn't actually worked out very well for African Americans. Look, there have been strong leaders around the world. In my home country of India, Indira Gandhi, Golda Meir in Israel, Margaret Thatcher in Britain. So it's not as if this is an issue about having a woman president. The real issue is Hillary. And Hillary has been proven to be such a difficult, larcenous, pathological liar. Even in her latest interview, this thing about the fact that Comey agrees with her that she never intentionally used classified information. This is a woman who just can't be trusted and seems always with her husband to be on the make. That's not the kind of president I believe we deserve.
In interviews, Dinesh, she always seems surprised that people have this image of her, that 68% in one recent poll found her untrustworthy, that it's all manufactured by the media, and that it's a misunderstanding, but it's based on a history of knowing both Clintons and their behavior.
Yes, I think that I can't tell, looking at Hillary, if this is a case of somebody who is sort of dishonest to the core but has so perfected her kind of public front that she lives in two worlds, a public world that's completely fake and then a private world where she knows what's going on, or if Hillary basically believes the lie and she just thinks that she's innocent. The Clintons just went from $0 to $300 million on a government salary, and that's perfectly normal in America.
You know, Dinesh, it's David. How you doing? In Hillary's America, you tackle the vision, who she is. You expose a lot about it. At the DNC, they didn't say anything about the $2 billion Clinton Foundation that they claim helps millions of people. Is it really more about this deflecting from the truth?
Yeah, this foundation is really not even a philanthropic foundation. It gives away a very tiny percentage of its money. It appears to be a personal stash for the Clintons, as well as part of their political kind of war machine. This is a foundation that's taken money from foreign entities and foreign governments, often people with a stake in government policy. They gave this money when Hillary was Secretary of State in exchange for things that they wanted Hillary to do for them. So this is a thoroughly corrupt enterprise, and it's very sad to see the Clintons enriching themselves in this way at the public expense.
Well, can I just add to this quickly? India. You bring up India. She went to India. She gave speeches there. Benefits were given, much different than the trade relations during the Bush years.
Yeah, with Hillary, she was initially opposed to the India nuclear deal, and then huge amounts of money began flowing into her foundation. Bill began to get speeches where he'd get $500,000 for a 20-minute speech, and then suddenly Hillary saw the light and became a convert to the India nuclear deal. This is a very scary prospect to put someone in the White House who puts themselves ahead not only of domestic policy but also American foreign policy.
You know, Dinesh, this is Mike Block. Let me play devil's advocate here. Yeah, we could say, okay, she was just the pronoun trouble that she and Warren Buffett had. Well, she's running for president. She wants herself to be president. Warren Buffett purportedly wants her to be president. They're using these pronouns. You know, what's the big deal here? But you're making some great points here about the Clinton Foundation and what they really do. You know, how do we go after that, other than just saying she has pronoun trouble? What should the Trump campaign, the GOP, be doing here to really put the right light on her?
Well, I think the Trump campaign needs to emphasize that when the Democrats as a party, Hillary's not alone, she's part of this progressive movement, part of this Democratic Party, and this is a party that always says were for the little guy, were for the ordinary man, were for minorities, were for blacks. Now, we show in our movie that the Democrats actually have not been that at all. This is the party of slavery, of segregation, of Jim Crow, of the Ku Klux Klan. Even today, when you look at the private emails from the Democratic National Committee, look at the way they actually talk in private about Latinos, the Taco Bell crowd, or blacks, or homosexuals, or the way they were trying to use Bernie Sanders' religion or lack of it against them. So the party of bigotry hasn't really changed its spots. It's only changed its public presentation.
Dinesh, just really quickly, I wanted to bring this up because people get, you know, she had a jump in the polls after the convention. She's got a 9-point lead in the CNN poll over Trump right now, and she's 46 to 39% in the CBS poll. And they just released the Clinton campaign that Hillary Clinton, the Hillary for America and the Democratic Party, they raised $90 million in July for the two of them, and her campaign had more than $58 million in the bank. So somebody's behind her, and somebody's putting their money on her.
Absolutely. I think the Democrats would have to be considered the favorites at this point. They've got an unbelievable organization. They also have a good deal of the media behind them. So, when you have academia, you have Hollywood, you have media, that's three of the biggest megaphones of our culture. I think Trump has an uphill task, although I think he can win.
Well, what does he need to do quickly, Dinesh? What does he need? One thing.
I think he needs to focus on the fact that the Clintons basically are out for themselves and not for America. That ultimately is what they want. They've been running rackets since the Arkansas days. That's what they did in the White House when Bill was president. That's what they'll do if we put them in again.
Dinesh D'Souza, great to see you. Thank you so much.